What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Q&A. This is the part where I answer questions that you asked me. But before we do that, I wanted to give y'all a little, more information, just general info about who I am. So in case you didn't know, my name's Becca. I'm gonna assume you found me because you already know me. But if you don't, welcome. I'm glad you found me. I am a powerlifter. I do compete in the USAPL in the 56 kilogram division, which is about 125 pounds. Fun fact, a lot of people think that I weigh a lot more than that. I heard them say that they thought I weighed like 150 pounds. Like growing up. So I compete in that weight class. That is what I do as like my hobby. Because you know, we don't get paid for that. So I actually get paid to be a manager of a gym, a Crunch Fitness, here in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is not originally where I'm from. I'm actually from South Carolina. So lived in the Carolina area basically my whole life. Not basically, my whole life. Grew up in South Carolina, went to school in North Carolina, stuck around that area for a while, went back to South Carolina, actually lived to Charleston for a couple years, and then up here to Raleigh. So that's me. Let's get into the questions that y'all have. I asked put a little thing on my Instagram story asking y'all to drop me some questions so that I can answer them. So that's what a few of y'all did. That's probably how you found me here on YouTube, to be honest. But if you aren't already following me, follow me here. All right, let's get into the first question. What made you decide to start documenting on YouTube? I want to share more of my story. I realized, let's back it up. So, I was never big on social media. It obviously wasn't huge when I was growing up because, forgot to mention, I'm 32. So, internet, those kind of things were just starting to happen as I was growing up. MySpace, all of that, you know, it was a thing. I did it a little bit, but never was like huge into it. I want to say it's really when Instagram came around that I started getting a little bit more into social media, making some posts and stuff, kind of figuring out, but it wasn't a huge thing for me. Didn't care a whole lot about it. Then I went through a lot of life shit. Let's just be honest. Life happened. And when I say life happened, I mean life happened. And I will be honest, I kind of stepped away from social media when all of that was happening to kind of keep people at a distance. I felt a lot of, I will admit it, I felt a lot of guilt and shame and embarrassment going on in my life, and I needed to heal and work through a lot of stuff, and I honestly didn't want other people seeing what I was going through at the time, just being honest. So I kind of shied away from sharing a whole lot on social media. Still did, but not a whole lot. Then the past couple years, I have started putting more out there, putting more of my training out there, a little bit more of my life out there. But it's only really through Instagram, and I feel like I've gotten to this point in my life where I have healed and overcome and been through so much that I have so much that I can share with people in my life experiences, in my training, because I've been doing that for a decade. And so there's just I feel like I'm in a place now where I can give back to people, that I can share with people, and it will make a difference. Not that I wouldn't have before, but I just feel like me personally, I'm in a place where I can do that now. And so YouTube is just a way that I think is going to be the best way to do that. All right, Question number 2. Current book you are reading. So currently, I'm reading, make sure I get this right. Yeah, The Path Between Us. This is a book that Jess actually sent me recently. I'm not too far into it, but it's about the Enneagram? Enneagram. How do you all pronounce that? I don't know that I've ever said it out loud now that I think about it. Reposted something on my Instagram story the other day because I am a type 2 and talking about how like scary accurate some of those Enneagram things are, and so she sent me this book and I am reading through that right now. Just started it. I'll update y'all maybe later once I finished it. Any setup technique cues for your lifts? They always look so good, trying to figure mine out. Thank you. I have worked very hard to make these lifts look good. If you don't know, I have been lifting for 15 years now. God, I'm getting old. So I've been lifting for a long time, and over the years there have been many different cues and techniques that I have used. So when it comes to cues and techniques, that's going to be very, very individualized. And it's also going to be pretty hard for me to give you any cues, techniques, tips, whatever, without seeing your lifts. Like there's really no generalized cues that I feel like I can give. So I'm sorry, that was a great question, but I don't feel like I can answer it very well for you. So maybe I'll think about it and come back if I think of anything. Next question. Do you feel like you learn something new every time you compete? Yes. After competing for many, many years and in many, many different competitions, I learned something new at every meet, no matter what. Because every meet is different, every meet prep is different, so you're going to learn something new every time, which I think is the best part about competing. Something new about my program, I think, every time, and even sometimes in the sense of that's working, let's keep doing it. But I also learned something about myself, I feel like, each time, because let's be honest, every meet is insanely different. You're gonna have to deal with a whole lot of different challenges. The refs, it could be the people you're competing with, it could be the venue, it could be this, that, like so many different variables show up on meet day and you can't control a lot of them. So you just gotta learn to roll with it and figure shit out. And I love that. But yes, to answer your question, I learn something new every meet. All right, guys, next question. What are your favorite accessories for all 3 lifts? I'm gonna assume squat, bench, deadlift, because that's what we lift. And also, what's your favorite place to get sports bras? Yes, so let's think about this. Favorite accessories for squat, bench, and deadlift. For squats, I would say leg press. That has helped my squats probably the most. I didn't have like access to a leg press for a while and noticed, not a decline, but like once I added it back in, I noticed immediately the benefits that I was getting from it. So leg press for me, for squats. For bench, weighted dips, or body weight dips, if you could start with those and then start to progress by adding weight to them. Weighted dips are my favorite for bench. And then deadlifts. That's a great question. I want to say for sumo deadlifts, actually doing either conventional deadlifts or RDLs, stiff leg deadlifts, those kind of things, help my sumo deadlift a lot. Yeah, I would say RDLs are one of my main ones right now that I do. It's what I need. So you got to figure out what accessories you need to fix the weaknesses that you have in whatever lifts. But in general, Those are some of my favorites. What was the other part of it? Sports bras. Honestly, probably all of the sports bras that I do wear at this point are from Racer Fitness. You can, I don't know if we have any in stock right now, but check it out. Racer Fitness, we've got shirts. I say we. That's not my brand, it's Shamar Royster's brand. Mr. Pancake God himself. He has blessed us with some amazing sports bras, shirts, joggers, all of that. So that's basically 80% of what I wear. Not even gonna lie. Go to Amazon. You don't even need to buy like super expensive ones. Like, I think I paid like $20, $30 for like a pack of 3 or so from Amazon once. I wear them like all the time. Fleo also does some good sports bras. Alpha Elite, I have a couple of them. Material quality, great. Sorry, that light just came on. So I do have a few from Alpha Elite. Material quality is great, but they don't fit me super well because I think they're made for skinnier, let's just say skinnier girls who don't have like traps and stuff like I do. So they really dig into my traps and everything. Next question. Do you miss being a gym owner ever? Damn. This is a great question because a lot of y'all might not know, I used to own a gym. So if you do know this and are asking this question, that means you've been following me or been in my life for at least more than 5 years. Wow. Where do I even start with this question? I have to like go back even further and let y'all know that I actually used to be married, which you also probably didn't know about me. So I was married and I opened this gym with my then husband, and this gym was my baby. I poured everything into, I poured everything into this gym. I loved it. Ended up, quitting my job at the time and running this gym full time, and it was one of the best times of my life. To answer the question, love being a gym owner for, many reasons, but a few of those is just like, you get to really invest and form and mold the type of place and community that you want to train in. So to back it up a little bit, my community didn't have a powerlifting or strength training gym at the time. Nowadays, I feel like you can almost go anywhere and find a powerlifting or strength training gym. Whereas, a decade ago, maybe a little less, whatever, that wasn't the case. You had Planet Fitness and, your old bodybuilding gyms that were kind of, run down and dirty. And that's all my community had. So I saw a need for it, and so we facilitated that so that I had a place to train, my community and friends had a place to train. We were able to provide a clean facility, all of the equipment that we needed, and just form a really good community. And I absolutely loved that. And I only left it because I ended up divorcing my now ex-husband, and I just left everything left. So he has a gym, from what I understand, it's doing really well. I haven't asked about it recently, but I know it's still in business, so I'm assuming it's doing really well. I hope it is. I would love to go back one day. Probably not allowed in, but maybe one day I'll be able to go back, see how it's doing. But I really miss, owning a gym and having that like impact on people in the community that you're able to as a gym owner. Currently, I'm just a manager of a gym, which looks very similar in the sense that I can kind of bring some of those core values into the place that I'm managing, like providing a really clean facility, making sure the equipment's good and upkept, and if they need anything, getting that, trying to create a community that's, you know, good and encouraging, and no matter what people are working out, that, you know, we're all there to get better, so there's no judgments, there's no, you know, negative energy. Like, you know, in a sense, like, I can somewhat manage that, but I don't have as much control over it as you do when you open your own facility and gym. So that was a great question. I feel like I just y'all just got to know a lot about me, which was a part of doing this, you know, YouTube and Q&A, is so that I can share a little bit more of my story. Maybe one day soon I'll talk a little bit more about my marriage and divorce and relationships and all that life stuff, because I've been through a lot. But yeah, I think that's all the questions that we'll go through today. We'll keep it short and sweet. If y'all end up having any more questions that you'd like me to answer, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will do another Q&A maybe here soon and answer all those for you. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and like I said, we'll have to do this again sometime. So thank you so much for following along on my journey, for being here, for listening to my story. I hope that it is inspiring. I hope that it makes a difference in your life, because that's why I want to share, is so that I can make a difference and help others. So I've been through a lot. I know y'all are going through a lot, so I want to be here as a resource to help you out, to inspire, to give back to y'all. So if there's ever anything I can do, reach out. You can always DM me on Instagram, comment below, I'll answer those. But yeah, thanks again, guys. I'll see y'all in the next one.
Shorty had to bounce back, take a loss, nigga, get her right back. She get tossed round, moving like that.